Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are staying safe. So, guys, this Caleb Plant Canelo news has really taken a storm. A lot of people are talking. A lot of people are saying a lot of things about Canelo, saying Canelo's ducking this, that, and the other. Guys, I wanted to make this video because I get really frustrated and really angry when, really angry when people start accusing Canelo. Like we had Christian on the show, and he's in my Facebook group as well. I got massive respect for Christian, to come onto the show and actually go against the grain, and knowing that there's a lot of Canelo fans. I'm a Canelo fan, and knowing he's speaking against the grain, it takes a lot of heart, and I respect him for that. He's also mentioned that, Canelo's avoiding this fight, blah, 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 and we can see his... Here's a problem I have, and here's the thing that I have with boxing and boxing fans, is that Canelo Alvarez is not ducking Plant. Not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. And let me explain. Canelo Alvarez is the biggest star in the sport. How did he become the biggest star in the sport? By paying his dues. By fighting top competition. And here's the thing. People are saying, oh, he's cherry picking. He's fighting Kovalev. He's fighting a washed up Kovalev. Okay, he fought a washed up Kovalev. You name me on Andrade's resume, Charlo's resume, Plant's resume, a win as good as a washed up Kovalev. You name me on their resumes a win as good as Gennady Golovkin or Daniel Jacobs. Name me one. But yet Canelo gets the rap every single time. You go through all the 160 and 168 pound division champions' resume and look at their resumes. And I guarantee you there's not one win as good as a washed up Kovalev. Who's Andrade's best win? Has he got a better win than a washed up Kovalev? No. Canelo Alvarez is what makes this sport great. Canelo fights top competition. Whether he's fighting the guy you might want to see him fight is irrelevant. The fact of the matter is Canelo is the type of guy that I want this sport to be based on. He's fighting top world level competition. Whether you think he's cherry picking like Mayweather, they're fighting top competition. They're not fighting class D. He's fighting washed up Kovalev. He's a good fighter. He was a champion. He fought Daniel Jacobs. He fought Golovkin. These are top competition. Top competition. While Andrade and those guys are fighting lower tier. Plant's best win is Jose Utsakatsi. Callum Smith, his best win was George Groves. A faded George Groves. That's it. They've got one name. Canelo's fought Khan, Cotto, Mosley. I don't care where some of them were past their best. He's still there. Cotto, a washed up Cotto or a past his best Cotto. He wasn't a washed up Cotto, past his best Cotto. What's Andrade beating on that level? Or what's Plant beating on that level? Why don't people understand that? It's so frustrating because as a boxing fan, Canelo fights top competition. He's fighting world level opponent after world level opponent. Canelo's resume from December in 2020 to May 2021 when he fought Billy Joe is better than Billy Joe's whole career. In 5 months of Canelo's career, he's got a better resume than Billy Joe, Callum Smith, Avni Yildirim, and Billy Joe himself. That's a better resume than Billy Joe's whole career. Forget about what he's done prior to that in 5 months. But yet, everyone wants to jump on Canelo. Everybody wants to hate on Canelo. Everybody wants to say Canelo's this, that, and the other. Like, why is it Canelo Alvarez always gets the stick when he's fighting? Okay, if he doesn't fight Plant, he'll probably fight Bivol. Who's Plant gonna fight? Anything less than a Benavidez, I'm not gonna be happy with. I'm pretty sure you guys are not gonna be happy with. Canelo will fight somebody top level, top tier. We know that. His record, his track record suggests that. The proof's in the pudding. His track record. He fights top competition. Their track record, Plant, Andrade, their track record isn't against top competition. Canelo will probably fight Andrade, or he'll probably fight Bivol. He'll probably fight he'll fight somebody top tier. But yet, he's the one we criticize. He's the one we point fingers at. Oh, well, he's ducking Plant, or he's this, that, and the other. I don't know what the score is. He may well be asking for... I don't know. I'm realistic. I'm a Canelo fan. From what we've seen so far, it looks like, why would Canelo not want to take the fight for those things that are, being spoken about? But again, we've only heard one side of the story. I'm a neutral guy. After hearing Plant, right? Yeah, you could say, Canelo, why would Canelo not take the fight for that? But we've only heard one side of the story. The fact of the matter is, I'm going off Canelo's track record. His track record suggests to me he fights top tier competition. Do you honestly think that he's afraid of... Here's the thing. Christian mentioned something. He said Billy Joe had a style that could cause Canelo trouble, the way he fought against David Lemieux, right? So he said he didn't fight the same way he did against David Lemieux, right? This is what Christian said. That he didn't fight the same way. Otherwise, he would have given Canelo trouble. But Canelo knew that. But yet Canelo still took the fight. I'm not saying that Andrade is not better than Billy Joe. I've actually said I think Andrade is better than Billy. I think Andrade will beat Billy Joe. He's got high advantage. He's got a lot of physical advantages. But what I'm trying to point out is that Christian believed that Billy Joe's style would cause Canelo trouble, right? A lot of people, a lot of the media was saying that. Canelo knew that, but he still took the fight. He even gave him his ring size that he wanted. And still beat him. So now you think Plant is a problem. Why would he be afraid to fight Caleb? Do you honestly think he's afraid to fight Caleb Plant because he's scared to lose to him? Canelo's proven. He fought Lara. He fought Billy Joe. He's proven that he fights even guys that are not stylistically made for him. He fights them. He's not afraid. That's why he's loved. Because he's proven, even though if you think Lara beat him, he fought Lara. He fought Lara. I don't care if you lose fights. I don't care if Canelo loses if he loses to Beterbiev and gets knocked. I respect him because he fights top tier competition. He gives us the best fights as boxing fans. It's irrelevant whether he loses a fight or he comes close to losing, because he's fighting Lara's a great fighter. If Lara beat Canelo and there's certain people out there, so be it. Lara's an unbelievable fighter. He's an unbelievable fighter. So what shame is it losing to Lara? What shame is it losing to Golovkin? There's no shame. You're fighting the best. That's what we want. We don't want you to fight guys that we don't want to see you in the ring with. That's why I like Canelo. Because Canelo fights the best competition. He fights everybody, man. To say that, oh, he's not fighting Andrade or he's not fighting those guys. What are those guys doing? I want to see Andrade fight Charlo. I want to see Charlo fight. I'm frustrated. Is that why is it a guy that's giving us the best fights, that's giving us the biggest events, that's giving us top fights after top fights after top fights? In 5 months, he fought 3 fights, 2 of them against undefeated world champions. Who does that? Who does that? But yet we criticize him and not the other guys that are doing nothing. When did Plant last fight? Who did he fight against? What's Plant's last 2 fights? Who did he fight against? Since Plant's won the title, who's he fought? But nobody wants to mention that. Everybody wants to mention, oh, well, Canelo fought Avni Yildirim and he fought Rocky Fielding, and that's 2 fights in about a 10-fight span. He can't fight. He needs to take some fights which are, not so hard. Otherwise, he's going to burn himself out. He's nearly had 67, 68 fights. You can see I'm getting emotional because the fact of the matter is that I don't understand that why Canelo gets the rap all the time. Why don't these other fighters get a rap? Why don't these other fighters get, criticism? It's always Canelo, 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 Canelo. Canelo's giving us the best fights. back to back. He was gonna look. He fought Billy Joe in May. He fought Callum Smith in December. Okay, if you think Avni Yildirim was no good in February, Billy Joe in May. Then he's looking to fight Plant. That's not a ducker to me. He's got the best. Aside of Pacquiao, Pacquiao's got the best resume in boxing. Aside from that, Canelo's got the best resume in boxing. To call him overrated or call him, oh, that's nonsense. Because some of his wins that you may not think are credible, like people say, oh, he fought a washed-up Kovalev, that would be Andrade's best win by a mile. That would be Charlo's best win by a mile. That would be Caleb Plant's best win by a mile. Benavidez, another guy that people see, who's he for? Callum Smith, another guy that people thought may give Canelo trouble because of his size. Who did he fight prior? George Groves, that's it. But yeah, Canelo gets the rap. You know, I feel like Canelo was getting criticism that he was ducking Callum Smith. He was ducking Billy Joe because Billy Joe's style was wrong. Then he beats Billy Joe. Well, oh, Billy Joe's not as good as Andrade. There's always going to be somebody. When he beats Andrade, they'll be so, oh, well, he's ducking Beterbiev. Then they'll say when he goes to light heavy, oh, he's ducking Anthony Joshua. Like, when is it going to stop? Like, at the end of the day, listen, the reason why I get frustrated and angry is the fact that I want to see all these guys at 160, 168 pounds fight each other. And at the minute, I'm only really seeing one guy fight all of them. I'm not seeing them fight each other. You see, this is the problem. Because we've got used to Canelo fighting all of them, we don't even talk about Plant fighting Benavidez, or we don't even talk about Benavidez fighting Charlo. We don't even talk about Charlo fight because they're all waiting for Canelo. This is what's happening. And it's wrong. It's not good for boxing because you can't rely on one guy to fight everybody. They've got to fight each other. And this is the problem. This is the problem. And like I said, that's why I get frustrated because I've said this numerous of times. I want to see the best fight the best. I want to see Charlo fight Andrade. I don't care whose fault it is that fight's not happening. I want to see the fight. Make the fight. You know, and the reason why, even if Canelo and Plant don't happen, I know Canelo's going to give us a top fight. Can you guarantee that Plant's going to give us a great fight? If he doesn't fight Canelo, who's going to be... If Plant fights Benavidez, fair enough. I'll say, wow, Plant, you can't criticize him. He's gone and fought Benavidez. But now if Plant doesn't fight Benavidez, and he fights the guys that he's been... Oh, Caleb, you know, Caleb Truax was a good fighter, don't get me wrong, but he's at the end of his career now. But these guys have got to step up, not Canelo. Canelo's stepped up. He's proven himself. He's a proven fighter. He's proven that he'll fight anyone. Canelo's resume doesn't suggest to me he ducks anyone. Canelo is not a ducker. He's not. He's not. He's just not. And his track record proves that Canelo's a warrior. His track record proves to me he's a warrior. People need to stop pushing, you know, their biased stuff across. Canelo Alvarez is a warrior, and we need more people like Canelo in the sport. Canelo's just brilliant that he beats all of those guys. Why do you think someone like Anthony Joshua or Amir Khan get a lot of stick? Because they're not as good as Canelo Alvarez. But yet they did the same thing Canelo did. They fought the best. And you look more vulnerable because they're not as good as Canelo. So Khan got knocked out a few times. Joshua got knocked out by Ruiz. He got him put down a few times. Khan got knocked out. He got wobbled because he fought top competition. And he got knocked out, and as a result, he became underrated. He became unappreciated. Fans don't appreciate him as, oh, he lost his big fights. But yet, we need more people like Khan in the sport of boxing that fought the best. Not people that pad up their records and people say, oh, he's a killer, he's fighting, he's undefeated, he's not lost before. And this is the problem with boxing, is that fighters that should be respected for their CV, for their resume, don't get respected because they've been knocked out a few times because of the fact that they fight top competition. But yet the guys that are undefeated get to made out, that are fighting nobodies, that get made out to, oh, these guys are special. But when they step up, right, and then they get beat by Canelo, it's like, oh, well, he fought nobody. But why are you bigging them up prior? Get them to fight each other. There's champions in the 168 pound. Before Canelo started cleaning up the 168 pound division, Billy Joe could have fought Callum Smith. Callum Smith could have looked to fight Benavidez. Or Callum Smith, none of them fought each other. But now Canelo's going through them. But no one said, oh, well, why are these guys not fighting each other? But Canelo had to fight them all. And now Canelo's beat two of them. Oh, well, they were no good. They were from Europe. Oh, he's ducking Plant. He's ducking PBC fighters. Why? What's Plant got, right, that Canelo would be afraid of? Is Plant a Julian Jackson type puncher, or is he... I don't get it. He's slick, yes. He's got fast feet, fast hands. But Canelo's proven he can beat guys like that. I don't understand. And that's the problem. We need to give fighters that deserve respect. Canelo deserves respect because of his resume. If we want to push a narrative that Caleb Plant is this, that, and the other, and he would beat Canelo, fair enough. But I can assure you that Caleb Plant is not going to have faced anything close to Canelo Alvarez. And he's going to have his work cut out if he was to fight Canelo Alvarez. But if he beats Caleb Plant, then the same thing's going to be said about Andrade or Charlo. There's always somebody coming up. There's always somebody he needs to fight. Personally, what I would want Canelo to do is, if this fight doesn't happen, is fight Bivol, go up to light heavyweight. But the problem is, he's going to have the same issue there, because Beterbiev's with ESPN. Okay, the deal might be a lot easier with ESPN. They may be willing to do it. Who knows? We don't know. Everyone's different. But as Canelo's probably found out here, it's not as easy to be a free agent and just do a deal, because everybody's looking for their own best interest. So hopefully the Plant fight happens. I personally think the Plant fight will happen. I think it's a stumbling block, and I might be wrong. I personally think that the Plant fight possibly will come to fruition. I think it's maybe... The reason why I'm saying that is because from what's been said as the reasons that this fight is happening, just don't seem a strong enough reason for me for the fight not to happen. And I feel these are things that can be ironed out and for the fight to take place. I don't think there's any huge stumbling, but by the end of the day, we don't know. We don't know the ins and outs. We don't know the full side of the story. So hopefully, when we do find out, we'll know what, we'll hear Canelo's side, and hopefully the fight just takes place, man. I'm just want to see the fight happen, to be honest with you, and I think you guys are probably the same. But let's hope this fight does take place. Leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.